Hi everybody, my name is Brandon and welcome to the Civilizations and Cultures YouTube channel. I'll be doing the first video on the Zoom presentation. It's pretty much like a mini lecture where I just cover this random historical topic that I find interesting. I want to share with you guys that I don't think it's talked about, or that's pretty much the entirety of what this is. So I'll be doing this periodically throughout the week, or maybe even like on a day-to-day basis. However, I feel ready to produce these videos at whatever rate I want to. So probably on a weekly basis for now, but if I want to, I definitely can go ahead and um, do it on a more daily basis at one point. Um, but today we're going to be learning about the Inca Empire. The Inca Empire is one of my favorite topics to learn about on my own time. We didn't get to cover too much about it in either my U.S. history classes that I've taken with the Age of Exploration, as well as in my world history classes with the Age of Exploration either, simply because the main theme is Age of Exploration. There's not too much of a unless you're doing like Latin American studies or have a Latin American history course at your school, for example. The Inca Empire, or like the Age of Exploration, is like the main focus of the Inca Empire when someone is generally learning about history is with the Age of Exploration in Spanish. So I wanted to look a little bit deeper into that because I just thought they were such a fascinating civilization. And we have the date of the Inca Empire lasted from 1438 to 1533, and we have Machu Picchu in the center, one landmark feature and technical world wonder of this wonderful civilization. So here we go, the Inca Empire, and oh, whoopsies, I forgot to put that. So there we go. So before we get acquainted with the Inca Empire, we have to understand where it is. The Inca Empire is in South America, and it's a stretch over 2,500 miles along the western coast of South America. And it deals primarily with the Andes Mountains, and it stretches from Quito, Ecuador to Santiago, Chile. And they spoke over 30 languages with a population over 10 million subjects. Official language was Quechua, a language also present in the empire called Aymara, Bukina, Muchik, Jaki, and a few other smaller local languages, of course. They had many, and the capital was Cusco. And Cusco may sound very familiar to you because it is the city in Emperor's New Groove. So that movie and the empire is based off the Incan civilization. So I think that was a little cool fun fact. Now we're going to talk about the road system. And this is going to be more on the roads and how they went about things in the Inca Empire. I'll do another video on Pachacuti and historical leaders. There'll be a separate series that I'm planning to do because I think historical leaders and the lives of individuals is really cool as well, that I don't really focus on too much. But here we have the Incan road system. So one major aspect about the Incan civilization is their road. So this is a big deal. And they actually nicknamed their own empire Tawantinsuyu, which meant land of the four quarters. Each quarter had its own name. North was Chinchoyasuyu, south is Kolasuyu, east is Antisuyu, west is Kuntisuyu. And as you can see, there's these regions, and this is just a map of the Inca Empire as well as Inca cities along the western side of the South American coast. Now we're still going to talk about the road system, and that was a major accomplishment. So I just wanted to hone in on this, as this is quite the achievement, and we'll save Machu Picchu for another day. But each quarter was connected by the highways and road system, as we just need to previously establish that there was these four quarters, so they need to be connected and unified. And you might want to think to yourself, why is this important? Well, think about the Roman Empire, or empires in general, pardon, where the Romans, and including the Persians as well, used roads to pretty much connect the outer reaches of their empire, and which allowed for easier administrative purposes as well as economic interaction. So that's a big thing in empire building as well, if you do like study empires and civilizations. So each quarter was connected by the highest road systems, and it assisted in the movement of goods, people, and armies as well. Um, Along with this, it connected the administrative centers with settlements within the empire. And these roads were just not roads, they also included bridges, stairways, causeways, chasqui, wasi, which were small stations, and luxurious complexes known as tambos. The road system had two main highways. The first one ran down the coastline, while the other ran along the highlands. And I just included some fun facts for you guys. One of the Cusco being part of a city of Emperor's New Groove. And the other fun fact is the Inca unit of distance was called a topo, which is actually 7 kilometers. And I promise there's photos, guys. It's just, I also put, I'd rather have a lot of notes down for if anyone watching is engaged and would like to take notes on the Inca Empire that I have summarized from sources I'll link below. But I'd rather have that and not just show a photo in case anyone wants to follow along and take notes. So you could see the words. I'm a much more better learner when I see words, so that's just how I function. So, but the pictures will be on the way. So the Inca roads are built with the lack of advanced engineering, which makes it even better with all this technology that they use, as they only used wooden, stone, and bronze tools. And this is quite impressive for a civilization, definitely, given the resources. So, and the roads were built better than they needed to be, which is also a very cool aspect about the Inca and how, they could have just made some roads in general, for example, just for the purpose of it, but they decided to actually make these roads so great because they intended to impress travelers and conquered peoples with their superior Inca culture. And I wanted to highlight on this specifically because when someone produces like a work of art, for example, they want to impress others. So similar to the Inca right here, the Inca would want to impress the travelers and conquered peoples as they saw their Inca culture being superior. So if, let's say, if they were going to conquer them down the line, they would probably want to impress the travelers like through their roads to show that they are superior, and they want to emphasize that superiority through the roads. So this is just some of a cultural aspect, also part of like empire building, um, making trying to convince other people to not necessarily assimilate into your culture, but rather be more acquainted and less resistant towards it because they see it as, let's say, um, sort of advanced or progressive, or even just, just sheer awe from it. So that is just one thing as well. Then Inca engineers also constructed rope suspension bridges, which were used to cross ravines. Usually these bridges were built in pairs, and this is cool as well, as it highlights a social stratification aspect. There's one used by nobles and the wealthy, while the other for the commoners. So we just see some social stratification within their own road system, and more specifically the road suspension bridges, which I think is really, really cool because they're just not roads either. There's just roads for different types of people of social status. Um, and then they also had the Oroya, a suspended basket that could carry 2 or 3 people over a long distance. And this is going to look so cool when we see the photos, guys. It looks like a modern ski lift, and I will highlight it later. So more on the road system, the Chasqui were runners on this road system who passed information to another runner every 6 to 9 kilometers. That would be, let's say, near or around one topo. And most information was passed orally, but they use one thing as well. This is also important of the Inca civilization, the quipu, which is a coded assembly of string and knots, and it also helped the Chasqui's memory of the original information. Chasqui sometimes also delivered fish from nobles, and this is really, really important. So Chasqui played a very important role as not only were passing information, but the role of the quipu as well. I just want to highlight one thing in particular was that what happened is that this is pretty much, let's say, a long game of telephone. As they are running these long distances, one to one person, for example, or just runner to runner. And the aid of the quipu pretty much is like a little note that says, "Oh, this is why I'm running, and what the message is," so they don't lose something in this long telephone game, for example. So um, I thought this was very cool to learn about. And as you see, that most of the information is passed orally, so it was just highlighted that the quipu was definitely something that was useful in Inca communication systems. So on this road, uh, various roads, that is. Then llama caravans and porters were also used to transfer people and goods to and from significant Inca centers. Of course, I like leaving these little fun facts for you guys, but commerce could not use the roads for private purposes unless they acquired permission from the government. Commerce also sometimes had to pay tolls at the bridges if they sought to use it. So I thought this was really interesting because um, usually when most people think of roads, they think anyone could use it. Um, and this kind of just highlights that this idea is definitely not like, well, it's a little bit more different to our modern idea of how roads work. For example, if someone's going to drive somewhere, they were going to go off on some, let's say like Road 95, and let's say, well, at one point they might like reach a toll, but the fact that these roads could only be used for the government and they had to require permission emphasizes how important these roads are in their society, and how the government viewed the importance of the road, as well as they have to, not only could the commoners not use roads for private purposes, but they also have to pay tolls if they wanted to use it, showing that it is an extremely valuable tool in the eyes of Incan governance. So, and next we have pictures. Left we have one of the runners, a depiction of one of the runners, the Chasqui, um, who would run 69 kilometers with their messages with the use of the quipu on the right with the beads knots system. So just a really cool thing for you guys to visualize. And we're going to move on. The roads were also usually surrounded by small stone walls that would surround them. And the cool aspect about it is that these roads were built towards the culture of the Inca and the animals in the region, more specifically the llama. They made llama-friendly staircases, and they were seen in the Inca Empire in mountainous terrain. And drains and culverts drew rainwater from the road surface by churning along the road or under the road. So it's nice that they have this kind of drain system from the road, so it doesn't like flood the roads. So that's very useful as well. I'm in a really cool achievement part of roads as well. So maybe I'll do a Roman road versus Inca road comparison one day. So roads usually were 1 to 4 meters wide. Sometimes they're a little bit larger. And for example, one would be 15 meters wide, and it was a highway in the Huanaco Pohnpei province. And now we're just going to go scroll through some roads real quickly. As you can see, more so on the right, we can see the little stone walls on the picture on the right, accompanying the road. So they're just not just the road, just some flat land that's paved, but there's these little stone walls there as well, just part of their architecture. And next, we're going to talk about something like the arroyo, which is what I think is so cool. And I really hope you guys enjoy this as well. But here's a depiction of the arroyo, and where it has the basket, and it looks like, how would I say, like a ski lift. Um, and it called two free people. Could carry them for some long distances. And right here we have the arroyo, and this looks so much more cooler to visualize, knowing that it's kind of like a pre-modern ski lift, as we would probably interpret it as. And over here we see a suspension bridge as well in this area. So I thought this was very cool to share, as well as it is an important aspect of Incan civilization. So I hope you enjoyed this little lecture thing and just me ranting for a little bit and covering this topic, but I hope you learn a lot on the Inca road system. And you could share this knowledge with your friends, wherever, the library. Actually, well, you could text your friends if there's a pandemic going. But share your whatever, however you communicate. Share this information, spread the word. So much fun. I will see you guys next time, and I'll be doing various videos on this topic. I might just deviate from this topic as well, however I feel it, but I will organize each topic to the respective region and civilization on my YouTube channel. So I will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy.